the angel of death has spoken. The party of Bolivai must be 13, and of these one must be no Northman, and so you shall be the 13th. Eaters of the Dead, the manuscript of Ibn Fadlan relating his experiences with the Northmen in AD 922. A novel by Michael Crichton, later republished as The 13th Warrior to correspond with the film adaptation. A handful of scenes from The 13th Warrior regularly show on the Best Of playlist in the theater of my head. I sought out the book that it was based on, Eaters of the Dead, after many years of loving the film, and I'm glad that I did. Fans of the film like me will enjoy this book for its insights into the Viking people through the eyes of an outsider, as well as the curious and complementary details that didn't make it into the movie, though I was also surprised by how much was faithfully rendered from the book onto the screen. However, unless you're into embellished first-hand accounts of ancient peoples, the movie is going to be a lot more entertaining than the book. The movie also does a better job telling a story. In this case, it's the story of a growing respect between people from widely different and equally proud cultures. Michael Crichton is an odd writer. He is often, but not always, more interested in scientific research than characterization. Of his works, I've read Jurassic Park and The Andromeda Strain, and now Eaters of the Dead, but I remember very little of the characters from either of the first two novels, though admittedly the Spielberg film is, of course, overshadowing a lot of my memory of the book Jurassic Park. In my society, we have a saying, "Thank Allah, for in his wisdom he put death at the end of life and not at the beginning." Herder smiled at this and laughed briefly. In fear, even Arabs speak the truth. Eaters of the Dead includes footnotes and commentary on sources and translation choices, which, warning, were a little bit difficult to refer to in the Kindle edition, but otherwise are nice little additions. So you might be wondering, is this nonfiction? Is this a scholarly work? Yes. No, I don't want to spoil it. If you read the book, the appendix will make everything clear. It is certainly presented as a historical, personal account that has percolated down through history to be compiled from translated fragments into this unified story. It reads as an ancient piece of writing, not at all a modern story, but that's a lot of its charm, and it is a short and easy read. The book, like the movie, contains a simplistic, manly wisdom. "Be thankful, for you are fortunate." I inquired the source of my fortune. Herder said in reply, "If you have the fear of high places, then this day you shall overcome it, and so you shall have faced a great challenge, and so you shall be judged a hero." But this is also a criticism, or at least a warning to some readers. The book, like the movie, is very macho, a loaded phrase that I'm using in lieu of less generous descriptions. The movie features a cast that is almost exclusively men. The book, in many respects, is even worse. Women are treated as inferior to men and only really good for sex and childcare. These are perfectly valid reasons not to engage with the story in either medium. However, I still think the book and the movie can be enjoyed. I enjoyed them both very much. And I'm even more impressed by the movie than I was before reading the book. The movie does a phenomenal job embellishing and improving upon the archaic style and bluntness of the prose. If you missed The 13th Warrior in theaters, and way too many people did because it's one of those movies that was a box office bomb, yet whenever you hear people talking about it, it's nothing but praise. So if you missed it, you really should check it out. It's a wonderful movie. And if you enjoyed the movie, or you're just intrigued by a maybe non-fiction set in 922 AD, then you should check out the book as well.
For all we ought to have thought, and have not thought. All we ought to have said, have not said. All we ought to have done, and have not done. I pray thee, God, for forgiveness.